following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
In today's episode of the Defy Life Podcast, the guys discussed NFL Week 4 action and look ahead to Week 5. And as always, they'll answer a listener question and wrap things up with some trivia. All that and more. On to the show. Welcome to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 202. Come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph. Joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glymph, Thomas Stevens. What's good with you, Al?
Hey man, I'm doing all right. Can't complain. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good. Good to be back in the house of the Lord after a couple weeks off.
Amen.
No doubt. What's good, Pooh?
Nah, man, chilling, man. Hey, episode 201 was so smooth, man. You forgot all about it.
All right, man. Oh, it was so dope. I don't want to let it go. I can't figure out.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, that's what happens when you get over 200. They just all blur.
Right. Two something. Right. Exactly. Oh man. Well, what we do know is 2 something. So we've been gone a couple weeks. 2 weeks ago, y'all, we just had some timing issues. We couldn't get scheduled, and after I passed out during the pre-show, I was just out of it. And after that, we couldn't get things together. We called it a wrap. And then after that, last week, we was all set to record, and I'm in the middle of football practice and trying to do drills with my linebackers and threw my back out. So yeah, blame me completely and my bad back. But I'm better now. Oh man. Well, yeah. So that's been my last 2 weeks, and also suffering 2 L's in a row on our team. So yeah, man. It ain't been pretty. So I've been looking forward to this. Al, what you been up to the last 2 weeks, man?
Man, first let me just say we are. My wife and I was in a car accident, so we are blessed to be here. That's how I feel. That's the
right.
Totaled the car.
No.
We walked away injury free.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's the important thing.
That's the important thing, and it was just hey, I'm just all. You look at the car, you just like, wow. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Glad to be not only glad to be here, but to not have to go to emergency room, not get checked out at all, just because we were obviously fine at the scene of the accident. Yeah, man, just great to be here, and so everything else is just gravy. And while I'm a little sore, kind of feel like I tried to tackle Derrick Henry. But other than that, look, I'm good. I'm really good. So.
All right. Well, are we all local or
local?
Traveling?
Like literally, just a bad, just a bad accident. And
wow.
But everything being everything, that's the least of
right.
words. And so yeah, I'm good, man. But I think over the last few weeks, I have. Got to see some old friends, and good things going on with job and kids, and just. But again, like when you really look at what's happened over the last few weeks, that's been the biggest thing. And at the end of the day, it could have been a really, really different phone call today. So, yeah.
What's up?
Yeah,
that's
man. Well, I'm sure I speak for me and Pooh when I say, I'm definitely glad y'all are okay.
Oh yeah.
And, like we said, the most important thing is your health and y'all's well-being. As we all know very well, cars come and go. You'll get another one of them motherfuckers. But, hey, as long as y'all good, man.
one of the thing about car shopping is, for me personally, when I'm in a mood for it, it's a great experience. When it's like not something you were planning for, you don't really have no designs for any particular model, it's a pain in the ass. And so having to just deal with that right now is just like, but everything, man. I'm counting blessings, counting blessings.
No doubt, no doubt.
So thank y'all for that. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
man. Good, yeah, no doubt. Pooh, man, what's been good, man? Last 14 days for you.
Man, I just been chilling, watching football, going to Carter games. Bud just kicked off baseball.
All right.
So I just been living life, man.
No doubt. Y'all, so this is you mentioned that, Pooh. This is the really fun time of the sports year.
Yes.
Where of course baseball playoffs are about to pop off. NBA preseason and the NFL and college football, everything's going on right now.
Don't forget hockey preseason.
And hockey preseason.
Don't forget hockey preseason.
Yeah.
And WNBA playoffs.
WNBA,
It's
yeah.
everything going on.
It's like everything's happening. And so if you're a sports fan, and you can't find something to watch, you're not a sports fan. It's something going to be happening. But yeah, Pooh, you mentioned it. How's Carter's last 2 weeks been?
Man, he's done extremely well. He's been unblockable. I'm proud of him,
good to
man. He's really pushing the issue, pressing the pocket. I'm happy. Like I said, I'm elated for him. He is dressing out for JV on Thursdays, but he practices with varsity throughout the week.
Okay.
So he's just, I guess he's homing his craft on varsity. So,
well, yeah, that's what they say. If somebody's from a smaller school or playing on JV, and if there's any question of whether they belong on the next level, the first question you ask is he dominating the competition?
Right.
If he ain't dominating where he is, there ain't no question the way he should be up. So that's a good thing that they can't block him.
Right.
Yep.
Good stuff, nephew. Oh, yeah, man. Well, good, yeah. So, like I mentioned, my last 2 weeks have been losses. I ain't that good at math, so I can't even give y'all the combined score of the last 2 games.
Wow.
Beat us yeah. It was really. The last 2 games have been a complete disaster, and I'll explain why in a second. But the combined score of the last 2 games, in which you played the 2 best teams in the league, have been 74-6. No, 74-14. Man, I'm making us look bad. 74-14.
Okay. 14.
Yeah. It was 6, man. Good thing we tried.
All right. I was about to clown y'all.
Right.
14. Okay. I'll back up.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, it's funny how you learn, and all y'all as coaches, you learn. Every team is different. Every season, every year. And you're learning about your group as you go, right? And when you start off the way we started out with a backloaded schedule, so our schedule up front was the lower teams in the division, and we were winning all our games by 40 points. And you're left to wonder because you don't know yet whether your group is gonna be resilient in winning or losing and remain who they are, or not. And what we found very quickly is that we got a bunch of front runners who, and I mean, and it's blatant. We got down Team took the opening drive, drove it down to the 1. We got a fumble, recovered it at the 1. Next play, they got a safety. 2-0. Like, we had helmets being thrown, walking off the field, like it was over. Yeah. So it's it's a chore to try to reel them back in and get them to believe in, who they are. Because a lot of them, now we got kids not showing up to practice and half-assing it. So I stopped practice yesterday. I was like, man, we're wasting our time. We're starting over. Either go home or we starting practice over. Whoever's with us can go. Whoever's with us is going to stay here. Whoever ain't with us, take your ass home. Everybody stayed. They might have wished after it was done. They might have wished they left. But yeah, man. And a lot of it was, they were a bigger team. So a lot of these kids, and and the team that we play, right? So they are basically an all-star team of Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and High Point. So they recruit. We have all local kids. So there's a difference definitely different gap in talent. But we say we're gonna win or lose with our kids who are rightfully supposed to be on our team. And so with that, they were the bigger team. They had more athletes, of course. So on the way home, I asked Lincoln. I was like, because first drive I took him out. I was like, look, man, let me know when you're ready to block somebody, and I might put you back in. And so we have the best player in the baddest dude in the league is on our team. The second baddest dude is on their team, and they probably tell you the opposite, right? But we'll line up and beat each other up all day in practice when it's time to go against somebody else, and again, they're front runners, man. So somebody else they don't know, the devil they don't know, they was afraid of them. So I said, Lincoln, man, what first couple series, what's wrong with you? Like, what? So I'm pushing him, and I had just got him something to eat after the game. Not until I took his burger did he just look at me in the eye and say, look, man, I was scared. This dude named Big Nasty, he was like, man, it shocked me how big and how fast he was. I'm like, but you practice against Z2 every day.
Right.
But he's like, yeah, but I know Z2. Like, I know he ain't going to kill me. Right. That's something that every player has to go through. So, we'll see what it look like next week. So, and next week is, we win next week, go to the playoffs. We don't, we out.
Okay. Good luck, brother.
Appreciate it.
Definitely good luck. Some of the best coaching comes on the team that are facing adversity. So that to me is, from a coaching perspective, like, it's more fun.
Right.
To coach a good team. Winning team. Everybody, that's just fun. But I guess the challenging part of coaching, if you really enjoy that side of it, because it becomes more complex and more dynamic in terms of you got to pull stuff out of your toolbox.
Right.
It's just, to me, it offers a lot more memorable experiences, because you're going to see who's about this life and who's not, and you can build off of those experiences.
Yeah, so you're right. It should be fun, and you kind of, this is where you learn what each individual player, what makes them tick. So so we'll see. Like we always say, we damn sure we'll see. But with that being said, y'all, we ain't gonna get too far in. Before we just want to shout out our patrons, like we always do. Our patrons, we appreciate your support. So if you do, if you can be kind enough to go to patreon.com/GoDefyLife, you can become a patron and support the network. You can also find us at DefyLifePods.com. You can listen to us and all of our podcasts in the network. We're also available at iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, anywhere your favorite podcasts are available for the free 99. You can find our written content at the granddaddy of them all at GoDefyLife.com. And you can find our branded apparel at DefyLifeGear.com. So y'all definitely check that out. Now, before we move on, I got one very important question. Al, did I cover everything?
Bruh, you covered it like Lester Hayes was covering wide receivers back in the 70s.
I gotta get me some stickum. Okay,
Hello.
no doubt. All right. Well, as we always ask, man, so we have a couple weeks off. So, same question we would have asked 2 weeks ago. We just gotta change a number. Pooh, what do you know after week 4 in the NFL?
What do I know? I mean, I really hate sticking with my home team all the time. Matt Nagy needs to be fired, man. He needs to be fired.
Jeez.
He needs to be fired. He needs to be fired.
Wow.
Yeah.
What Matt do to you?
It's just first, and I want to talk about it so badly last time with that crappy game plan. You know, he put out there against the Browns. Could have got my guy killed with that crap. And so after the game, instead of owning it, you know what, guys, this is on me. You know, I didn't prepare the guys well, XYZ, da 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 da. Instead, that kid said, "Well, you know, all our quarterbacks have been evaluated. You know, anyone can start." Instead of, you know, chalking that up for him as his mistake, he insinuated Justin played horribly.
Right.
You know, instead of saying, you know what, I didn't give Justin a chance to be. So after the win, he's gonna come out and was like, "Yeah, Bill Lazor." They was like, "Hey, coach, you know, you gave up calling duty. You know, Justin looked good. Blah blah blah. You got to move the ball, score points." And he was like, "Yeah, you know, yeah, Lazor, Bill called the plays." He said, "But you gotta understand this. You know, throughout the week, we get together and we decide what's good and what's not good, and whatever Bill calls, I okay." And I'm like, and we're like, what? Like you got to stand on the soapbox and beat on your chest? Yeah, I okay it.
Credit
you know,
card.
and still, you know what? Still, Justin's number 2 and Andy's QB1 whenever Andy's healthy. You know, I don't get that kid, man. He doesn't want to be a head coach. He doesn't want to be a head coach.
Oh, I know he damn sure want the credit for stuff.
Yeah, I can't believe that kid said that. Like, this is what you said. Yeah, we get together and we okay. You know, I know you gotta give him Bill credit, but just know I signed off on it. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's great. I know I saw a clip of him today, Nagy, speaking about the same topic. And he was, well, the beauty of it all is, you know, Andy's our starter when he's healthy. So when if he comes back Friday, he's our starter. And if not, then I was like, dude, just stop talking.
Right.
If he comes back, talk to us about it then.
Right.
You know,
right.
But all these ifs and what ifs, and you're just digging yourself a deeper hole. You just came off a win. Enjoy it.
And he just digging, man. I don't see why go back though. I can't see. I can't see why go backwards. And I just can't see it.
It don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. Why go backwards? Why go back to Andy and now Justin's been jump started. The learning process is on the way. The snowball is rolling down the hill, bro. So don't stop it and bring him off the field. Let him continue to learn.
Right. That's my thing is if you're gonna get, you know, you're either gonna get mediocre quarterback play because you got a mediocre old quarterback, or because you got a rookie who's learning.
Right.
If you're going to give me mediocre quarterback play, at least give me the one that's going to benefit me in the long run, that's going to get better.
Exactly.
That don't make sense to me. And you know you can not win a game the rest of this year, probably next year too, and still buy yourself some time because you got a rookie.
You got a rookie, right?
He's your guy. They're going to let you grow with him. So I don't get it.
Crazy.
Yeah. But enough of Chicago problems. At least y'all won this week. Al, y'all,
True that.
what do you know after week 4 in the NFL?
Well, one thing I know is that I'm like kind of salty that I own a Jalen Smith jersey because they released him today.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Jalen Smith has been released by the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either. Like, I mean, we are pretty loaded in linebacker play right now. Like, so I understand why maybe he might not have been in next year if that's, looking how much he's making this year and guys we got kind of on the bench. But like, why not just play out the season? Why that just I don't know. That was surprising when I just read that come across the phone just now. But so that's curious. But either way, what do I know other than that? Speaking of the Cowboys, Dak is back. I know that. Dude has been hooping, getting his ball on, like just playing elite quarterback level play from our quarterback, and so I'll take that. And so our offense has been pick your poison, whether we kill you on the run or kill you in the air, just based on whatever he is diagnosing at the line of scrimmage. And a lot of the times it is him. Like the level of control he has in our offense has been impressive. So I'm glad to see it. He is a better quarterback this year than he was last year. So that I know. Our defense, I don't know it is really good yet, but I have been pretty happy with what I've seen. And for those who were a little aware or unaware of who Trayvon Diggs is, he's definitely trying to make a name for himself in the NFL this year with 5 interceptions in 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, kid is trying to let everybody understand that he's a lockdown cornerback. So,
And he ain't just Stefan's little brother.
he is no longer Stefan's little brother.
Right.
That's who I was introduced to him as when I found out we drafted Trayvon Diggs. I'm like, who that? Oh, that's Stefan's little brother. All right, well, shit, he can't be that bad if he's Stefan's little brother. That's who we got. Well, no, he's Trayvon Diggs. And he came into the season, I was reading that he had 14 pass deflections, and he looked at that as 14 interceptions he should have had last year. And he just said, I'm not doing that this year. If I get my hands on it, I'm catching it. And that's the kind of cornerback he's been this year. So shout out to an NFL player who came back one season to the better player. That's Trayvon Diggs. And I mentioned it a little bit, but our running game is serious between Ezekiel, steady, giving you body blows and wearing you down when he gets his touches, and being an excellent pass blocker. Tony Pollard has shown to be a home run hitter, and he can touch it and go anytime he touches it. So we've been a nice combination and really hurting squads from the offensive side and wearing them down, which I think is how we play best as an offense.
No doubt,
So that's what I know about the Cowboys. And the only thing I know about the Jets is that Zach had a good game last week. We have seen some growth. He had some ups and downs like we know we're going to get with a rookie quarterback. But this past week, there was 2 or 3 plays that had my mouth open. Just like, whoa.
Yeah.
This dude can throw. Dude is talented.
I was forced to watch that game because they went into overtime and it came on before the Steelers game. So I was like, man, let's go ahead and watch the rest of it. And you can see him progress and get better throughout the game. Zach. So it was really impressive, man. I was impressed with what I saw. I mean, still a lot of a lot can be grown upon, but it's definitely from a Jets perspective, definitely inspiring to see somebody like to actually see growth during a game and people learn from mistakes as they're happening. So that was good. That was a good play.
Especially at the quarterback play, because that is when you see a quarterback do that. Like
Right.
that's great, because you're like, okay, that's such an important position to see somebody that have that type of experience as a rookie, to be able to do that. I think is significant. And we've said it all the time about rookie quarterback. You don't know what you're going to get that first year. So to me, it's like talent is what I'm looking for at first, like just to see the capability. And I think we've seen it in all of these young quarterbacks. The talent to make the plays, and then the next thing is consistency. So if he can do it this next week, I'm gonna feel better as a Jet fan. Same thing with Justin. If he gonna play good the next time he on the field, if I'm Poole, I'm like, oh yeah, we got that dude. That's what we want. We got that dude.
Right.
So I'm feeling good from my NFL. I know some good things about the Jets, which honestly at this point of most seasons, that's hard to say.
Right. Yeah. So definitely encouraging for y'all.
Yep.
Oh. Well, which means we're moving on to week 5. So before we get too far into which games are intriguing to us in week 5 action, Al, you got some work to do on these picks, man.
Son, I'm trying. Honestly, I mean, I appreciate you calling me out. Because please understand, I'm noticing. I'm checking the stats. Like, damn, son, you got to step your game up. And hey, it's been early. I have the faith that we're gonna pull it out. But it's been some crazy things happening. And you want to play steady and not just get into reach mode, because you're trying to make up the difference. And that's where I'm at. It's a battle. Once you get behind, it's hard to get back.
It is, especially because for the most part, everybody picks the same games. There's like two, maybe 3 games every week that kind of turn this tide. And Lincoln has been strutting around here with his chest out.
I ain't mad at it.
Show y'all old heads how to pick some games this week. So yeah,
tell him to send me his notes. Help me out.
Right.
I need some help.
Well, yeah, man. So it's a long season though. Like I told Lil, he was like, man, I got some work to do. I was like, man, it's a long season. So, but fun as always. It's always fun picking these games. So, if y'all don't know what we're talking about, it's the Defy Life NFL picks that we do every week with all our experts, air quotes, across the network. So, right now, my 12-year-old son is beating all our asses. So, yeah.
Killing them.
Oh man. Well, so Al, week 5, like we said, is coming up. Which game is the most intriguing to you?
To me, the most intriguing game. I mean, I'm gonna be paying attention to the Dallas and Jets as always, because those are my squads. But the one that I have circled, like, this is the one I really want to see, is Kansas City Buffalo. And I think, that the AFC West is looking real interesting right now. The way not San Diego, my bad. The LA Chargers, manhandled the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, they changed the city so much, it's hard to keep up with that division. But so that's interesting, because if San Diego is going to be playing at that level, Kansas City, y'all got the game to make up, which means if Buffalo knocks you off this week, you in trouble.
Big trouble.
You in trouble. And so to me, I want to see how does Kansas City respond. And I'm expecting them to come ready to play, but Buffalo is trying to show that they're the dominant team in the AFC. So they're ready to play. And so this is not only for if I'm KFC, if I'm KC, this is not just for my AFC division, but you're really talking home field, and playoffs is at stake now as well. Because Kansas City can't take another loss and expect to get home field throughout the playoffs.
True. Yeah, and what's funny to me, after realizing what Kansas City's record's looking like now, remember after they won the Super Bowl, we were like, man, this could be a dynasty.
Correct.
And it could also, what we're saying now, which is probably more likely than a dynasty at this point. I'm not saying that their window's closed, but remember when Aaron Rodgers was ascending in Green Bay and we was like, oh man, this is gonna be ugly for the rest of the league, and he came out of his prime with one Super Bowl.
Yep. This is exactly how it happens.
Right, and so it's interesting how quickly that perspective can change on future greatness. So.
Well, I mean, I think it's more the other teams are getting better too.
Right.
So just because when you have your window as the dominant team in the NFL, you need to strike because other teams are catching up every game.
Yeah, and it's key you say every game because when you become the hunted, everybody's Super Bowl, and it's hard to it's harder, I'll say, to get up like that every week against traditionally like the Browns or the Bengals or the Jets. Like every week when that team, they circled this game. Oh man, we might be 4-12 or 4-13 this year now, but we beat the Chiefs.
Hello, we can say something about ourselves.
Right, like this is a big week for us, and that's every week. Teams are gunning for you, regardless of what their schedule is, or what their outlook is, or what their expectations are. Teams are gunning for you, and it's hard to be somebody else's Super Bowl every week. So goes to show, man. And the Kansas City's not a bad team by any stretch, but it's such a small margin for error in this league.
So that's my game. That's what I'm looking at.
Cool. Pooh, what's the most intriguing game you got?
Of course, like you said, like Al said, of course, my home team. I want to check those guys out. Justin's second start going to Vegas. Vegas defense plays pretty tough. They get out the quarterback. They're fast, so I want to see how Justin's look in his second week. Getting all the reps and see how he comes out. See what he looks like. Check out the game plan. But I'm definitely intrigued by that KC Bills matchup as well. So I definitely second that. I think that's going to be a heavyweight fight.
Yeah. And I'm sure we talked about Kansas City. Now let's talk about Buffalo. Y'all picked the same game. So I'm sure Buffalo, after that week 1 loss to my Steelers, I'm sure they're looking at that game like, how the hell did we lose to them after seeing us for the last 3 weeks? But again,
so what's your take on Ben, man?
Man.
What's your take for the record?
I was trying to dodge that.
We can't.
I've been trying to stay in moderator mode, man.
We can't. I got to hear your take. We out loud.
It's tough, man, because it's easier. Me and Lincoln have these conversations. It's easier for him to say, man, they got to bench Ben, because Ben ain't got no credit with him like he do with me. So Ben's just the local, the latest. He's the only quarterback he's ever known, and he's been good, but he ain't never gave him nothing memorable. So it's easy for Lincoln to say bench him. So it's tough. And as someone who does, and I tried to explain to him, once you make that move to bench a Hall of Fame quarterback, the best quarterback in your franchise history, you can't go back. And it's not like you got a sure thing. It's not like we have Justin Fields or any of Mac Bryant. It's not like we have any of these guys. Got a Mason Rudolph who's solid. He ain't the future of the franchise. And we got a Dwayne Haskins who is talented as all get out, former first-round pick, but is not our guy. We picked him up off the scrap heap. So it's not like, he's our guy and he's, we looking for him to lead us into the next era. So if you bench Ben now after 4 weeks, you're essentially saying we give up. That's not how they do things in Pittsburgh. So they're not going to do it yet. If things don't get better by the bye week, or say after week 10, maybe then. but I'm sure at that point, it may not be a choice. Ben's so beat up, that he may not be left with a decision to make. But he's far from, I mentioned a small margin for error.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the guy who can make guys better any longer. And it's tough because, there's a young offensive line who's getting better every week. But in that process, Ben can't move, so he's getting beat up. And if we miss a play, or if we get a sack, or if we get a the run for a negative 2 yards, that drive is over because we know he can't make the plays anymore. So that's the tricky thing, is when you get into, now the players are starting to, the teammates are starting to feel it, and they see it. They see him every day in practice. They see it in the games, and you don't want to lose the locker room. So it's tough, man. Right now, I'm like, realistically speaking, I know it's not going to happen where they bench him voluntarily. If he does get beat up enough where he can't play, then that's a different story. Right now, he's developing hip issues on the injury report. So, we've gone from week 1 with a shoulder to a pec, and now hips. So, it's, I'm not a big. I think succession plans when it comes to quarterbacks are overrated.
Yeah.
Like, you draft one when you draft one, when the one you got is done, or maybe a year or two before. But if not, you draft one afterwards. I just think succession plans are overrated.
So you're not mad that they don't have one right now? Like, I don't know who y'all, Najee Harris. So you wouldn't. You're not mad that they got Najee instead of a quarterback in that draft?
No, because you don't get quarterback, and you don't get quarterbacks typically after pick 24. Not a franchise quarterback, unless unless there's a blip year, whereas you get Lamar Jackson or Teddy Bridgewater fall into the end of the first round. That doesn't happen. But that's also the tricky thing about Ben, is over the last few years he's been just good enough, and that team has been good enough to keep you out of prime range for drafting a quarterback like that. So the only thing I could say is, they spent a first-round pick to acquire Minka Fitzpatrick. I ain't mad at that. Minka's the best safety in the league, arguably. The only thing I could say is they went up into the 10th pick and got Devin Bush a couple years ago, 3 years ago now.
But he's a good player too, though.
But he's a good player too, and what you spent for him, you had to spend 3 times that to get a quarterback. So to get up in quarterback range. So I ain't mad.
To your point, you think about the 5 quarterbacks that were drafted this past. At 5 when Mac Jones was picked, and he was picked 9-10 slots before Najee Harris. So
right.
I agree with you. They played it, pretty good by getting the running back, and next year go get your quarterback.
Yeah, you go get it, man. You don't have to draft one. Even then, they got.
It's true too.
Rudolph is under contract, and Haskins, they're both under contract next year. If you don't feel comfortable with them, go find a veteran who could be a bridge guy. But I'm just always of the belief that as a fan of a team, only thing that you can hope for is that you get that your team acquires a core of players that gives you a window of the championship window long enough for you can enjoy it for a decade, and get as many Super Bowls as you can out of it. And I can't complain on any of that level through the last decade and a half. And under Tomlin and Ben. Ben's leadership on the field. I've got 2 Super Bowls as a fan, and I can't complain about that. And when I say core of players, you've seen the likes of Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, even up to now, the beginning of Najee Harris. So all that, as a fan, I can't complain. I can. A lot of people do that shit, but
But I think the people who are complaining are more of the Madden era, where you can just kind of build squads, on your video game every year,
Right.
and not understanding in real life, that doesn't play out that way. And I think to your point, if you have an era or two in your lifetime where your team is a dominant team, winning Super Bowls, and at the very least have a chance to win Super Bowls, like that's really what you should expect. And that's great. Like if that happened, that's great. And so a lot of it definitely revolves around that quarterback, though.
Yeah.
Having that great quarterback is the difference. And they run their course, and then it's about trying to get another one as fast as possible.
It's the end of an era. It happens. So,
right.
And as ugly as it is now, we've had some sweet times that we lived through. I say we, I mean Steelers fans, that we could enjoy. I got the DVDs and now YouTube to prove it. So,
I mean, honestly though, that's what you want, and just what you want to avoid are the eras where you have no shot.
Right.
Like those are when those years are happening, like that gets worse. So you want to go through those as fast as possible and get back to where you either kind of have a shot, or at least you think you have a shot. But when you know you don't have a shot, those years stuff.
Yeah, and also I say this to close out is there are points in certain players' careers where the actual game changes, and how the game is played changes, and they get passed by. Ben is at that point now. Just coincidentally, he can't move any longer like he used to. Doesn't have the legs, and it's now a league of mobile quarterbacks. So with a new, young, innovative offensive coordinator like we have in Matt Canada, he can't unleash his entire offense with Ben at the helm, because it's not possible. So he's kind of handcuffed as well. So, we've talked about this before, was kind of the most impressive thing with guys like, with LeBron and Carmelo Anthony and guys like that, who the game changed while they were actually in the middle of the peak of their careers. And they were able to, develop and change with the game. It's a lot easier to learn how to be a competent three-point shooter than it is to find mobile legs as a quarterback when you're 40. But we've seen it happen. In a lot of sports.
And the one last thing, I think this is also the difference. And when you see the difference between a Belichick and other franchises, and to, pick, I think there's good and bad, pros and cons for each way. But when we talk about a Belichick letting a guy go a year or two too early, as opposed to another franchise who decides, for whatever the reason is, either they didn't see it or loyalty to the legend, they allow really for you to witness it, and everybody knows it's time. Not like there weren't people last year saying your business done. Like, Ben, don't come back, please. People were speculating, and I think if he was on the Patriots, he wouldn't have had this year.
He wouldn't have a choice.
And you're right, but other franchises play it differently, and that's just the difference. But I have a lot of respect for his game. I've always thought he's one of the better NFL players to watch and play the right way. So I don't mind seeing him struggle. Me personally. Let him prove it to himself.
Right.
I like saying that.
Hey. Right. And so we always say, we shall see. It's one thing that we don't have to see. We don't have to shout see, is whether Father Time gonna win or lose. We know that.
Believe it.
Every time. Hey, that's one. That's the only thing that's undebatable on this in the world of sports is that dude gonna win.
Right, and honestly, that's one of the things I like about sports. I mean, it's a long list, but that's on my list. That I like this. I mean, part of it. And so, from all sports, you'll hear players say they're gonna have to drag me off the court. Like, I love this thing so much, I'm gonna play till they say till I can't play no more.
Right.
So, I like seeing them players show themselves. Like, okay, I can't play no more.
Yeah, that's it for me.
I'm good.
Oh man. Oh man, it's funny. So our listener question, comes from Trish in DeLand, Florida. Trish, thank you for holding on. We've been holding on to your question for 2 weeks now. Finally going to get it out. Trish wants to know, and it's kind of in line with what we just talked about. Name one athlete from the NFL, the NBA, and boxing, so one each, whose career started before 1980, who would be just as successful in today's game. So, Trish, this is one of my favorite topics in sports as well, because she's talking about guys who transcend the evolution of sports and kind of humanity. Because we talk about all the time how athletes get bigger, faster, stronger over time. And, one of my, y'all heard me say it, and I get tomatoes thrown at me every time I say it from somebody. But I think, and it's kind of sacrilegious, but if Jim Brown was in today's NFL, I think he'd be a backup. That's if we just picked him up and dropped him into today's NFL. Not saying taking into account, training regimens and being able to train all season, but if we just picked him up off of the field in 1960 and dropped him in, he'd be a backup. Damn good question, Trish. So we'll go NBA first. Pooh, you first. Who is one person who their career started before 1980 will be just as good now as they were back then, just as dominant?
I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure it started before 1980 though. I'm gonna say Pistol Pete. Is that before?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Pistol Pete, NBA.
Okay. Damn good one. Al, what say you? Who's transcending your evolution?
Many people might not understand this, when I say this name, but that's just because, you had to see him play when he was all of that. I'm going with Bill Walton.
Yeah.
I think he would have even been better in this era with his skill set.
Yeah, probably so. And then there's a way you could look at this, Trish, and say that these are guys who, in the sports world, defy life. So,
well played.
So Pistol Pete and Bill Walton, damn good ones. Now I'll go ahead and throw out Wilt, just because I know a lot of people are probably thinking about that.
I thought about Wilt as well, definitely.
I thought about Oscar Robertson.
I thought about Big O too. Yeah.
And Dr. J is another one I think about.
Oh yeah, I thought about him.
Yeah.
The reason I crossed Dr. J off, he didn't have a consistent jump shot.
That's what
without that consistent mid range and of course we can say he would have developed, but just based on who we saw, I don't know about him.
Right. Yeah, and that's funny. Like you think about similar players and players from the same era. Now that you mention that, and I thought about that, but I didn't think of a deviation from his name. Probably, as far as a scorer and a shooter, George Gervin would probably translate better to today's game than Dr.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. I forgot about the Iceman.
Yeah. So, all right. NBA's down. NFL. One player, Al, the NFL who would be just as dominant today as they were back before their career started before 1980.
I'm gonna go with I'm the person I want to go. I'm gonna leave out there because I'm gonna let my co-host throw this name out there in case I'm gonna leave it for him. I ain't gonna grab his name. So I'm gonna go with my second choice, and that would be O.J. Simpson. And I think with his vision and his speed, and I just think that would have still translated in today's league.
Okay, damn good one. Pooh, so tell us why Al left Walter Payton on the board for you.
He left Walter, but I wasn't even gonna say Walter
Oh
because
no, okay,
if you know me, you know I'm gonna say Walter.
right.
So, so of course Walter. However, I'm gonna say Gale Sayers, the other Chicago Bret,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he
Okay.
is,
Okay.
he complete. But you, of course, we know Walter Payton. But Gale had it. Gale had it.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
How big was Gale during his playing time?
I think Gale was like 6'1", 210. Let me go real
Okay.
quick.
Another name that I thought of, and he terrorized the Dallas Cowboys, was Joe Green.
That was gonna be
Um,
my name. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely one of those situations where I began gained some respect of the adversary because that guy was a monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's gonna
Six
be. Go ahead.
6'1", 198.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Easy.
yeah, okay, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Joe Green was gonna be my first name, and my second name was just because y'all know I love giving love to the linemen, was Anthony Munoz.
Okay.
Oh
Kind
yeah,
of the archetype of left tackles in the NFL, and one of the first left tackles who was able to one-on-one pass protect against premier pass rushers. Back then, linemen and left tackles were getting all kind of help from running backs and tight ends, and there was three guys blocking one guy. So he was kind of the only first guy to be left out on the island like that. So Munoz was the beast. All right, moving on to boxing. Whew, this is a tough one. I'm ready for this one. So Pooh, you first. Who's the guy who in boxing who would have been just as dominant now as they were in their career before 1980?
Well, as you guys know, man, I'm not the boxing historian. You two are. But I just thought of a guy that I watched that had sweet hands and sweet feet, and I say Sugar Ray Leonard.
Okay.
oh yes.
Yeah, and power that could transfer to today's rings as well. Damn good one. Al, what say you?
Well, I was gonna say the Sugar Man, but but my co-host didn't do me that solid.
My bad, brother. My
But
bad.
that being said, it was definitely, I could easily go Muhammad Ali. I think, with his hand speed, and his defense, I think he would have still been a problem for the heavyweights of the day. And so I think while I don't know if I still think he would have been hands above the NBA. I mean, the heavyweights of the Muhammad Ali. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
going.
yeah, real good one. And it's crazy because when you look at the like the average size, weight, and height of today's heavyweight, today's heavyweight, I think the average size is 6'5" when you get top tier heavyweights, and up above 230.
Yep.
And when you look at back in the golden days of heavyweights, they weren't as big, of course. Athletes do get, society gets bigger. But Ali was 6'3", 220, 6'3", 6'4", 220, with hands and feet like a middleweight. And in his prime, most heavyweights of today and the power they could wear big guys down, which he showed throughout his career. But I think today's heavyweight, other than clutching and grabbing, they wouldn't be able to touch Ali.
Yeah.
It's just tough. So that's a good one. I'm gonna go with a guy who, of course, Ali's my guy, but you took him because Pooh took yours. So I'm gonna go with a guy who kind of did make it to kind of this era, probably the era before this one, but and started before 1980. George Foreman. This is a guy who is that 6'5", 260, pound heavyweight who hits like a truck. And, I heard, I think it was Ernie Shavers once said, fighting Joe Frazier was like, Joe Frazier was a heavy hitter too. But he's like, fighting Joe Frazier was like having a Pontiac hit you 100 times in the face. Like, this is a Pontiac that's hitting you, pow, pow, pow. But he's like, fighting George Foreman, man, it's like having an 18-wheeler hit you twice. And
that's a big difference.
Right. But, just a guy who had this big, strong, mean, with heavy hands. And, who was notoriously known for, like, ripping apart heavy bags he hit so hard. So George Foreman, I think, especially in today's boxing game with heavyweights, especially during the Emanuel Stewart era, where it was the Klitschko brothers and Lennox Lewis, guys who were taught to clutch and grab on the inside. I think George Foreman would have killed those guys. But he even showed when he was in his 40s that he could beat smaller heavyweights like Michael Moore and Van Holyfield, and could compete with the smaller heavyweights as well. So I think he would easily transcend.
Not only did he have heavy hands, he also had bad intentions. And when George Foreman was a young heavyweight, but not only was he known for beating you down, but he let you know, and he enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah. And he was just so no nonsense about everything he did. So, damn good question, Trish. We always like to compare and debate across eras here. Sometimes it gets us in trouble, but
sometimes.
Sometimes. But it's always fun when we're forced to do it because Trish asked us. We had to do it. But yeah, man, y'all keep these questions coming, man. Anytime y'all want to, you got something to say, you want to get something off your chest, you disagree with something we got to say, hey, shoot us an email at info@goldefylife.com, or you can hit us up on social media at GoldDefyLife on all platforms. So, again, Trish from DeLand, Florida, thanks for your question. Guys, y'all ready for some trivia?
Yes, sir.
All right. Since we are pushed for time, I kind of went the poo route and went with a quick one and a not so quick one. We're gonna go with the quick one. All right. We're gonna go old school. So I'm gonna go. Want to go with a list of. Well, Al, I'm gonna let you choose since you won with multiple teams, and I ain't gonna tell you what this is about. But you want Cowboys or Jets? Who you want to represent?
I'll represent the Cowboys.
All right. And you want to represent Lakers or Knicks? Who you want to represent?
I'll represent the Knicks.
All right. Pooh, I'm assuming you are going to go with the Bears and the Bulls.
Good night. Love you. Oh, that muted. My bad.
Oh, I thought you were talking to us.
We love you too. Yeah.
Talking to Carter.
Okay.
My bad. I thought I had muted.
All right. So, yeah, you going with the Bulls and Bears, right, Pooh?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. We're going to go old school. We're going to go player alumni. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Al, you want to go... you'll go first. So what we'll go is you'll get to pick between any of the two of your teams. I'll give you a player. They'll get progressively harder as we go. But if you miss one, your opponent has a chance to answer correctly from their team to win the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Al, we going Knicks or Cowboys?
Let's start with the Knicks.
Start with the Knicks. All right. So first name on your list, Al, who I'm hoping is a pretty easy one for you. Bill Bradley.
He went to an Ivy League school. He went to I'm gonna go with 10.
Oh, that is incorrect.
Ooh.
Bill Bradley famously went to Princeton.
Princeton.
Oh, I thought that'd be a layup. Oh, man.
I knew. Obviously, I couldn't remember which it was. And I knew this. I just forgot that.
Oh, man. All right. Pooh.
For the win.
For the win.
I know Jay gonna try to give me something tough, man.
I mean, okay.
Oh,
I will preface it with this: ain't none of these shits gonna be easy. I said they get harder as we go.
Hey, you ain't getting Michael Jordan. Okay?
Right? Yeah. The days of you getting Jim McMahon are over.
Give me the Bulls, man.
The Bulls. Okay.
Tony.
Oh man, get out of here. Oh,
Make
man.
him hurt. Make him hurt.
All right. All right. I will give you the guy who was one of the stars before Michael Jordan got to the Bulls. Well, as Michael Jordan got to the Bulls, he was one of the stars there.
Okay.
Reggie Theus.
Reggie Theus.
5, 4, 3.
Reggie Theus went
2,
to
1.
Syracuse.
That is incorrect. Reggie Theus was a run rebel.
Oh, you went.
Oh, wow. Okay, I would have guessed that wrong. I thought it was like UCLA or USD. Okay, running.
You close to me.
Oh. All right, Al, you still in it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's switch over to the Cowboys. Let's see what we got.
Right.
We're going with the Cowboys. Okay. Let's see here. All right. We will go with the greatest offensive lineman I've ever seen, Larry Allen.
Went to some
5.
Samoan state, something like that.
All right, Pooh, this is up to you. It's actually Sonoma State.
Sonoma State.
He said Samoan.
Samoan, yeah.
Samoan State. Yeah, you ain't shit.
I'm probably gonna get mine incorrect, so I'm gonna say nah.
Okay.
Samoan State.
Oh man. Hey. All right.
But I would have let it go if you would have said something like that.
Right. Yeah, and if like Samoan wasn't a word of its own, it would be just,
Right.
yeah. All right, Pooh for the win. We're going Bears or Bulls?
To the Bears, man. Let me see what I could do.
Oh boy. That's funny. All right, let's see. We are gonna go.
What you got for me, man?
All right. We're gonna go the guy who took over for the man,
Okay.
Neil Anderson.
Neil Anderson. Bro, I don't know what Neil Anderson was. Illinois.
Same close colors.
That is it's close colors, and ironically, he went to the same school of the guy who broke Walter's record. University of Florida is where Neil Anderson went.
Oh, even a Gator.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, Al, Pooh keeps saving you.
Yeah, man, keep missing the field goals. I got a shot. What we got?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, all right. Well, you want to go Cowboys or Knicks?
I'm gonna go back and forth. Let's go with the Knicks then.
Go with the Knicks. All right. Oh man, probably your favorite Knick of all time, John Starks.
Oh wow.
5, 4.
Tulsa.
Oh, Tulsa? It's just damn good guess. Oklahoma State is where he went.
Oh, wow.
He did go to Tulsa Community College before he went to Oklahoma State.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, you meant when he was drafted. Oh,
Right.
I thought you meant where he went after high school. I missed that part in the explanation.
Oh man. Oh.
Let me go. Oh man, bro, I'm lost. Let me go with the Bulls, man. Anything before Michael era, I probably don't have a clue. But go ahead, man.
All right. Let's see.
See what you got for me, man.
All right, we're going with another star who was there when Michael arrived. Orlando Woolridge.
Orlando Woolridge.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
NC State.
Oh, no, sir. Orlando Woolridge is also a former Lakers star. University of Notre Dame.
Oh wow! Okay,
Yeah.
this is
This is
education.
the Golden Dome. Right. All right, Al.
Let's go. Let's go back and forth. Let's go with the Cowboys.
Going to Cowboys. All right. One of the most talented, but also infamous Cowboys ever. The Big Cat, Leon Lett.
Wow.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oklahoma State.
Oh, no. Leon Lett was also a running rebel.
Oh wow.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Kind of on a twisting route, though. He accepted his first football scholarship from Auburn University, never played there. Ended up going to Hines Community College to work his way back into NCAA eligibility and ended up at Nevada, Las Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Him and Reggie Theus used to kick it. The Bears, all right.
That explains a lot.
Right. The Bears, let's see. All right.
What we got?
Pooh, you also have a big cat of your own who used to play for the Chicago Bears. Do you remember James Big Cat Williams?
James Big Cat Williams.
Yeah.
If you don't remember him, you definitely don't
Right.
remember he went to college.
Let me just throw something out there.
He was during your prime years. He was undrafted, became an undrafted free agent in 1991. If you have no idea who he is, I'm sure that won't help you. But
I remember the name, but I don't remember. Let me go out there and say Oklahoma, man.
that is incorrect. He went to Cheney College in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Big Cat.
Yeah.
Big Cat. The hell?
By most accounts, the oldest HBCU in America.
Okay. The Big Cat.
Yeah. All right. Al, I'm assuming we're going to the Knicks.
Yeah, let's go with the Knicks.
All right. Let's see. Your next one is Chris Childs.
LSU.
5. Oh, that is incorrect. Boise State. That's where Chris Childs was.
Boy,
Yeah.
Wow.
Broncos, right? Boise
Yes,
State.
yep, the Broncos, yep. All right, Pooh, where we going?
Hopefully I can get the W, man. I'm on 5%.
I'm just hoping you know who the guy is.
With the Bulls. Let me go with the Bulls, man.
Go with the
Hopefully I can
Bulls?
hear a name I know, man.
Oh, man. All right. Let's pull one up here. Stacey King.
Oh wow! I should have said I wanted to be the Bulls.
Mm.
I know more his team than I know of my team.
Really?
Damn.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Maryland.
Incorrect.
Hold on. I believe it was Oklahoma.
Oklahoma it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
Stacey King.
Okay, I'll take the Bulls. Let me go with the Cowboys.
Oh man. By your pattern, we're going back to the Cowboys. Let's see. All right. Speaking of guys who took over for the great ones, the man who replaced Emmett, Troy Hambrick.
Whoa!
He went to University of South
5.
Carolina.
Oh, that is correct.
Oh man, come on, man. Give me something recent like that.
I'm saying that was.
I mean,
Oh man.
Troy. Wow.
I'm saying everybody don't know that.
A cat that I don't know.
Yeah, nah, it's a whole lot of folks don't even remember who he
Nobody
is.
knows, right?
Hey, why she give me the one cat that I don't know?
You can tell me which team you play with, the Bears or the Bulls.
I'm going with wait a minute. I'm going with the same pattern with Al. What did Al do?
You went Bulls last time.
Okay,
So-
wait a minute.
So now it's Bears.
Stacey
Right?
King.
Bears.
So you're going
Yeah,
Bears
Bears.
this time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So let's see.
Troy and wow, dude. Placed Emmett. Wow.
Yeah, he replaced Emmett.
Troy got good speed though.
Yeah, he's a bruiser.
Big kid. Yeah.
Uh-huh. His brother was a baller too.
Yeah.
Linebacker.
Wow.
All right. Lance Briggs. Is that recent enough for you?
Lance Briggs went to Illinois.
That is incorrect. I was about to
Wait a
start
minute.
counting.
Oh, he went to Arizona State. Didn't he?
That is also incorrect. You went to Arizona. I'll stop you before you get to
Arizona.
Desert Storm. Desert Swarm. That defense.
That defense.
With Teddy Bruschi.
I'm
Little
the
known fact,
Cowboys.
Teddy Bruschi was a nose guard in that defense.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Yes. Teddy Bruschi. That's the brilliance, man, of Bill Belichick. You draft a nose guard, an undersized nose guard from a fast defense and make him a middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Al. Knicks.
To wrap it up, yeah, let's go next.
Let's see here. Where we going?
Go ahead and give it to him, man. Pat Ewing, man.
Al's second favorite Knick of all time, Allen Henderson. I'm sorry, Allen Houston. Sorry.
Allen Houston went to Illinois.
Oh, Al,
That is incorrect.
No, he went to Tennessee.
Yes, he went to Tennessee. Oh, Pooh for the win. Let's see, we're going to the Bulls.
Yeah, he'll volunteer. You kidding me?
Oh man.
Yeah, Jay, before I die. Before my computer die, yeah. I can't believe he said Illinois. Yeah.
BJ Armstrong.
Oh man, I don't know what BJ went to school
Are you
at.
kidding me?
I don't. I knew you was gonna ask me BJ. I thought it was like yo,
Five,
Google it.
4, 3, 2,
I don't know what BJ went to school at, man.
1.
I don't know.
We're gonna have to call this a draw.
What BJ?
Pooh ain't got no battery life left. BJ went to Iowa.
He's a ball guy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that. See, I never knew you were gonna ask me BJ.
Al blew it.
Yeah,
right.
I blew it.
But it's up to y'all. I mean, we're overtime wise. I'm good to go, but I mean, we call it a draw, and y'all can pick it back up next week where we are. Y'all ain't got none right so far, so it'll be an easy spot to pick up at.
Yeah, we can pick it up. I'm on 2. I'm about to go.
Right. Let's call it a draw.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, I would say good job to y'all, but thank y'all for listening. We'll pick this thing up where we left off next week for trivia. I'll try not to make it so hard, I guess. But this has been episode 202.
At least 88 and up, man.
Okay.
Hey, Al, 88 and up. Man.
Yeah, I can't even complain, man. I should have got it.
No, I should have. I definitely should have knew Stacey King and freaking Lance Briggs and.
Well, we'll even give y'all some parting shot next week. But this has been episode 202 of the Defy Life Podcast. Oh man, this has been Jay Al the Pool. We'll see y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy life.
Defy life. Peace.
Peace.